CARICOM leaders unveiled a landmark arrest warrant bill at the second regional symposium on violence as a public health issue held at the Alpha Chung Conference Center in Georgetown, Guyana. The two-day event, led by the Caribbean community, focused on finding unified solutions to the socio-economic and public health challenges posed by violent crime. The CARICOM arrest warrant bill, the centerpiece of the symposium, introduces a unified legal framework to streamline the extradition of suspects and convicted individuals across member states. During the event, Dr. Rowley, Trinidad and Tobago's Prime Minister, highlighted the importance of regional legal harmonization in addressing crime and underscored the significance of the new CARICOM arrest warrant bill.
The legislation to facilitate the harmonization of laws across the community have notably facilitated the completion of the template legislation for the CARICOM arrest warrant bill.
Rowley stressed that criminals must understand the law applies equally across all CARICOM territories. Once the laws are in place, there will be no safe havens for them in the Caribbean.
Our little criminal punks must now know that every CARICOM territory, the law applies to them equally with respect, well, as soon as we implement the laws, that with respect to warrants for their restraint, apprehension, in anticipation of successful prosecution, that there are no safe harbors in any of our Caribbean territories.
Guyana's President Dr. Mohamed Efran Ali referenced a 2017 IMF report highlighting the significant economic and social burden of violent crime in the Caribbean, particularly on the healthcare sector.
In 2017, the IMF found that crime, and particularly violent crime, is pervasive in the Caribbean and impose a serious economic and social burden on countries in the region. And we know that the first sector that is affected by economic and social burden is the healthcare sector.
Ali shared IMF findings showing that 40% of the Caribbean population views crime as a bigger issue than poverty or inequality, making it the region's most pressing concern.
The study found that an average of 40% of the Caribbean population identifies crime and security-related issues as the overarching problem facing their countries, even more so than poverty and inequality.
President Ali cited a 2022 Inter-American Development Bank report revealing that crime costs the Caribbean 3.44% of its GDP.
The Inter-American Development Bank found that direct cost of crime and violence on Latin America and the Caribbean reached 3.44% of the region's gross domestic product in 2022.
President Ali highlighted the financial impact of crime, noting it could cover 80% of the Caribbean's education budget.
From a budgetary perspective, what this means is very simple. This means that 80%, it would have cost 80% of the entire allocation for education in the region.
CARICOM Chairman Dickon Mitchell and Grenada's Prime Minister praised Rowley and Ali for their leadership in advancing CARICOM's crime-fighting initiatives, focusing on public safety and treating violence as a public health issue.
I want to thank both Dr. Rowley and Dr. Ali for the enormous work that they've done, not just in terms of the information they've shared with you, but in terms of the actualization of and implementation of many of the region-wide initiatives to combat crime, violence, and obviously to begin to put in place the necessary institutional and policy initiatives for us to treat this as a public health issue so that we could all make the lives of our citizens within the community safer.
The introduction of the CARICOM Arrest Warrant Bill signals a unified commitment by regional leaders to tackle cross-border crime. With St. Lucia's Prime Minister and other CARICOM heads in attendance, the bill reflects a collective resolve in close legal loopholes and ensure accountability across member states. This marks a significant step forward in addressing security challenges and prioritizing the safety of Caribbean citizens. Nigella Snag, MBC Prime.